Hi everybody, my name is Marie Van Vuklis and welcome to another episode of the Conscious CEO podcast. Today I'll be interviewing a powerhouse woman. Her name is Linda Liv Doktar and she is the voice of love, freedom and choice. And she is actually on a mission to help others expand into a fully expressed life of freedom. Linda has an amazing story to share and I can't wait to get her on to be able to share that. And she actually used that to be the driving force of her entrepreneurial journey and now travels the world doing what she loves and works and lives completely location free. We will be deep diving down into how to actually build a business location free, the powering of valuing oneself to succeed in business, and what it actually means to embody in creating a global impact. And lastly, how to magnify your vibration in creating the life and business that you want. So I can't wait to get into this and I will bring her on and we'll get started. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're tuning in from. I'd love to know. I'm tuning in from Greece and it's beautiful here. So I'll just get Linda on in just a moment. Hey, Linda.
Hello. Hang on. Okay. Oh,
Hi, how are
perfect.
you?
Hi. I'm
I'm
amazing. How are
fantastic.
you? In Greece?
Where are you at the moment?
I'm in
Oh,
Bali. Next week, America. Then who knows?
beautiful, beautiful. Is it nice and humid and hot over there at the moment, I bet?
Always. And the nights are still a little bit cold. Well, cold. But I'm climatized, so I
Oh,
I
beautiful.
get a little chilly on the scooter. But yeah, it's really humid during the day. It's
Great. Well,
amazing.
firstly, I just want to thank you for coming on to this episode and having the opportunity to share your story. I can't wait for all the listeners to hear how you've created what you've done and inspire others to do the same.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on. I think we have a couple of seconds delay,
Yeah.
I've noticed, but that's okay.
All right, so we'll get started straight into it. So tell us about a little bit about yourself and your backstory and where you've come from and where you are now.
Sure, sure. So I was born and raised in Finland and always knew I was going to find my own way in this world. And I moved to Australia when I was 19 and then lived in Australia for 14 years until I started traveling permanently. But what really happened in that time, in my 20s, when I was kind of finding my feet, finding on my way in life, I was feeling very, very lost and disconnected because I always knew from a very, very early age that I was born to impact. I was born to do something significant on this planet, but there was a huge part of me that was still wanting to conform, still playing by the rules, doing all the things that we get told to do in society as we get born and raised. So because of that, I felt for a very, very long time, I felt really lost. I felt really disconnected to myself and to my life and the people around me. And that path then kept going further and further down, and I became really depressed, started, escaping my feelings of loneliness in terms of addiction behaviors, and it just turmoiled, just snowballed down further and further. And there was 6 years ago a point in my life where I ended up in that 12 month, in the space of 12 months, I ended up in a very abusive relationship, severely depressed, suicidal. Then I fled that relationship, homeless for a couple of months, and then addicted to ice, so severe drug addiction, financial hardship. Then I lost my dad in that same year as well. So it kind of became this huge dark, well, I call it dark. I went through this darkness. Of course, this is the pinnacle of where my awakening began, and I found, obviously moved through that and really found my light and my path and my purpose because of that amazing gift.
Beautiful.
That I got gifted.
And how have you been able to overcome challenges and obstacles going through what you did in being ordered to build a business and go on the entrepreneurial journey that you have?
Great question. So I believe that we all go through challenges in life, and doesn't matter how many challenges we've gone through and how much work we do on ourselves, there's always going to be more challenges so that we continue to grow and expand if we choose to. And what this particular challenge in my life did is that, I believe everything happens for us. It really made me stronger within myself. It gave me so much clarity, so much direction, and it really showed me a place where I never wanted to return to. So that really gave me that strength and courage and inspiration to just keep going, because at the end of the day, like, I realized I was the creator of that as well. I took full responsibility, and then started to really delve into the personal development world and fast-tracked really quickly into, consciously wanting to evolve my awareness and things like that. So in my entrepreneur journey, it's really helped, because I always refer back to that point and how I overcame that when I didn't even have the tools at that time. I didn't have what I have now. And if I can overcome that without the level of awareness as I have now and the tools that I have now, I can overcome anything. I can work through anything.
Beautiful. And what's been your biggest, say, like, obstacle or self-limitation that you have had that you've had to move through, that's really been the turning point of your life or your journey?
Yeah, I think it was, I think we all have so many different limiting beliefs, but the biggest kind of shadow belief that I've had about myself is that I'm not worthy of love. So the unworthiness that then led to self-loathing and of course attracting experiences in my 20s that reflected how I was, viewing myself and what I was thinking and feeling about myself. So it's been a journey of moving from this place of complete self-destruction into becoming the embodiment of unconditional love within myself. And that's been probably the number one thing that has truly transformed my life. And it's flowed into business, into my friendships, into the opportunities that are coming into my space. So, even the self-loathing for a big chunk of my life, I still see that as a gift, because without that experience, I wouldn't be where I am today, and I wouldn't be doing the type of work
and
that I'm doing today.
I think a lot of people that might be watching this can completely resonate, with self-love and going through that spiritual journey of really going inwards and connecting with yourself. And, a lot of people that I've worked with in the business world are a lot in their head, so they forget about connecting with their heart. And, both men and women, and how important it is to reconnect with yourself and, love yourself as much as to be able to love others, not just, in business, but, in every other area of life. So, yeah, definitely. So I think that can resonate a lot with, a lot of the people that are listening. So tell me, what does it mean being an entrepreneur? What does it mean being an entrepreneur for you?
I think it means different things to all of us, but for me specifically now at this point in time in my journey, it means to be fully connected to our own truth, our own message, and our own purpose. Yes, as entrepreneurs, we tend to have these big visions of impacting millions and, but what place does that come from? Does it come from feeling more worthy, feeling more significant? And right now, as I'm really, stepped into the space of embodiment, and to me, really, embodiment is coming back to the truth of who we truly are, and coming back to the wholeness within ourselves. So for me, being an entrepreneur really means that staying on my own path, following my own soul, my own truth, and my own mission and purpose. And of course, the ripples will then create, the ripples will continue to expand from there authentically and with ease and flow.
You know, I have a saying is just stay in your own lane and don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Just follow your heart and go with your passion and your purpose. Okay, so how long have you been, you know, moving, running your business location free, and how have you been able to build and sustain it? So I'm curious to know, because I'm sure a lot of people, you know, think, oh, you can only have a bricks and mortar business or an online business, or how can I travel and do this and do that? So I'd love to know if you would be able to share how exactly do you do this, because it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is freaking awesome. It's something that I always wanted to create, and I'm just waking up every day with so much gratitude that I had the courage and the patience to still keep going and going and going, because, you know, sometimes our dreams don't happen like that, you know, overnight. We really got to work for them. If we want to create something, we've got to work for it. So for years, I had this vision that I just wanted to travel. And that finally happened a year and a half ago. So I've been traveling now permanently for a year and a half. And of course, you know, the years leading up to that, I was doing the do and visualizing and really living from that space that it was already here. So what I started to do while I could, because I knew the end result and I believed in it, I started to live from, I sold all of my furniture and started living from furnished places, just as the next step. You know, there's always a next step. So I knew I would be ready when it happened. So I've now been in the coaching space for about 3.5 years. And I really now work closely with people who want to, you know, connect back and embody their own truth within themselves, and you know, start really receiving from flow and manifesting from flow and step into a fully expressed life of freedom. And that's how I live my life. So coaching is a big part of what I do. I speak I speak all over the place as well. And then I've got I'm a believer in multiple streams of income. I've got an affiliate marketing business that's you know, with automated systems. So it gives me a lot of time to focus on other things. So online space has been a game changer for me.
Okay. You said automation. Can you tell us more about building a business that's automated, in being able to still have that income coming in without having to be there all the time for it to be, you know, profitable, let's say?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love speaking to this because I was once caught up in the entrepreneur hamster wheel, like I like to express it, and just doing, but still feel like I'm not getting anywhere. You know, really still like, yes, stepped out of the 9 to 5 and working from someone else, but still in the entrepreneur space, trading time for money. Like, you're still basically trading time for money as an entrepreneur. And that really wasn't my ideal gig. And of course, I had to go through that to realize that. And then I've also been, along the years, I've been involved in traditional low ticket, low end network marketing, you know, selling beauty products or nutritional products and things like that. But what I really learned in my journey, that I wanted to create something, I wanted to create a business or multiple businesses where I could literally keep living my life the way that I want to live, do what I want, travel anywhere at my own time. And there's no like location independent thing or me having to be in my business, present in my business all the time. So then I came across automated systems, and I really started delving into, you know, not only automation in automated systems in my affiliate marketing business, but also now really stepping into the automation of everything that I do. How can I automate, you know, what I do so that I get to come back into my truth and focus on working in my zone of genius? So that's what lights me up, because I don't want to wear 10 hats in business. You know, I want to delegate things. And when we can delegate things, we can stay more in alignment with what we're really here to do. So I believe it's such a crucial part in any type of business where we actually automate a lot.
So just on that, in terms of automation and, you know, delegating, does that take the element of having to build a team, or do you still require building a team to be able to automate things?
Yes and no. It really depends, I guess, the size of our business, and that's the size of, you know, what's going on. within you and what's required. So there are automated platform systems and processes. And then, of course, as your business really grows, I think a team is still really vital, because like I said, you know, wearing multiple hats is just going to take you away from your zone of genius. Like, for example, marketing, posting across all 5 different, you know, social media platforms, like that takes time. So yeah, it's I believe it's
Okay.
both, the
And
importance
for
of
some
both.
people that are starting out in business, let's say, and you know, they're the one that's wearing, because I remember when I first started, I was wearing like 10 million hats as well, and it was like non-stop, you know, full down, foot down all the way. And all I was told, like my piece of advice was build a team as quickly as possible so you can step out and just monitor at the performance of the business. And I think for those people that are starting out, because automation is very technological based, and I'm pretty fortunate enough to, you know, be quite savvy in that sense. But for those who aren't really, how difficult is it, or how easy is it, let's say, for them to build a business that is automated?
Right. I guess, you know, first thing to acknowledge is that when we start out, I think all of us wear all the hats when we start as an entrepreneur, when we start playing in that space. And I think, you know, I really have appreciation for those times in my life, because it's good to know the journey that's required, and then to, of course, to get to know what it is that you're needing to pass on to someone else. Because only by wearing the hats at the beginning are you going to learn what you don't enjoy doing and where your time is most valuable. So I guess at the start, you know, when you're starting out, I would highly recommend, you know, two things: to you possibly even find systems, automated systems and processes, like an automated platform, for example, that can teach you the processes. It can teach you copywriting, Facebook ads, and things like that, you know, when you're still at the starting point. And of course, then, just like you said, build a team as soon as possible, even if it is starting out with someone 3 hours a week. And even if it's, you know, you're putting the intention out there, you're just delegating even a little bit. And there's this saying that, you know, start before you're ready. And I truly believe that. And I've, you know, learnt my own lesson so many times, like, no, I'm not ready yet. I'm just, you know, a little bit more. And I remember when I first got we looked into getting a team, my first team member, it was like, but I don't know what I don't know if I'm going to have enough things to delegate to them, you know. So I had all these stories and fears come up, because I was also a control freak, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs can relate to that, being like, I want to do all the things, I want to have a control over it. But really, if we want to leverage automation, delegation, huge vital part of business.
Awesome. Okay. What does it mean to embody in being able to make a global impact?
What does it mean to embody making a global, or the ability to make a global impact?
To embody, like, what do you need to embody in order to make a global impact? And I know this is, you know, an individual interpretation, but in terms of your perspective on this, I'd love to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. I think there's two things that really are standing out for me, or being really present within myself, is the number one, just the way I started this interview, is complete connection to our own self, our truth, our vision, and our mission, and really staying in our own lane. Because the moment that we start looking sideways, we're taking away from our own journey. We're just distracted, comparing ourselves. Oh, I should be doing better, I should be doing that. No, we're all here for a unique purpose, for different reasons. So we get to just be fully present to what we are creating, and trusting that we will, you know, we will eventually create that, whatever we want to create. The second thing is, you know, if we want to create that global impact, it's important to embody, you know, business strategies and systems, because we got to be seen. Our message needs to be heard by, you know, the whole world, if that's the level that we want to play out. So what are the things that we need to implement in our journey, in our business journey, is, of course, implement sales, I mean, there doesn't necessarily need to be sales to create global impact. There's other ways of creating global impact as well. But if we really speak into business now, global impact in terms of business, of course, sales need to go through your business, and needs and gets to be systems and processes, and of course, leverage, ways that we can leverage Facebook ads, marketing, so that we are seen and we are heard. That's really the only way. If we're hiding, no one's going to hear our message. No one's going to.
So in your experience with working, coaching, business people, CEOs, and so forth, what is the one thing that holds people back in being seen and visible in sharing their message to make an impact?
Yeah, it's a great question, and really, really common in this space where people are still sitting in this fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough, not being viewed in the right way, or fearing saying something wrong. But what I want to, the fear of judgment is so, it's just playing a big part in so many people's lives. But I guess the important thing to remember when we're sitting in a space of fearing what someone's going to say or think or about us, the way that we're showing up, is that our message is not about us. It's about the people that we are here to impact. And the moment that we think that, what are they going to think of me? How am I going to be perceived? It's that me, I, we're actually making it about ourselves. And the moment that we can release that story is the moment that things can just flow through you with so much ease, and you get to just serve the people that you're here to serve. So it's not about you. I love, there's a book in it called It's Not About You. It's about the people who are here to hear you. There are people waiting for you to speak your message. There are people waiting for you to just show up because they need you.
Yeah, and just on that, embodying your own voice, your own message, your own truth, and being able to serve others and do what we're meant to be doing. All right.
Absolutely.
How do you magnify your vibration in creating the life that you want?
By staying in full alignment with myself. This has been a journey, and I don't think that we learn just in a one day. I think it's an ongoing journey. And the conclusion that I've come to is, of course, there are, practices that I do to raise my vibration, but where I really have stepped into a space of complete abundance and flow in my life is the more that I am in alignment with my own truth, the more that I say no to things that I want to say no to, yes to things I want to say yes to. And I'm really honoring and doing everything from a place of honoring myself. I've noticed such quick changes in my reality. And of course, when we are in full alignment with self, we are in a high vibrational space in all areas of life. We're fully embodied. And sometimes it might feel like you snap your fingers and it's like, there it is, that what you thought, what you wanted, your desire is there. So,
and do you have rituals that you do to, increase your vibration daily? If you do, what can you share? Maybe 3 of those with those that are listening.
Yeah, absolutely. So this has been a journey as well to find what really aligns for me, because I was once that person who was very attached to a morning practice of being a certain way. And if I don't write my gratitudes, then my whole day is going to be out the door. And, I started creating limiting beliefs around my morning rituals. And what I really love doing now is that I really flow with it. I tune into myself. What is it that I need in this moment? So if I'm tuning in and I'm feeling really tired, I would do something that really lifts up my energy, like instantly move my body. So I like going to the gym or exercising, whatever I'm doing, quite early in the morning as a starting point of my day. And quite often before gym, I would, go into meditation, listen to binaural beats, guided meditations, activations, and things like that. And Journaling is not something I do every single morning anymore. I might do it during the day, I might do it nighttime, but it's kind of like this really tuning into what is it that my soul needs and my being needs, my human shell needs in this moment to really be in a full alignment in today's day.
Beautiful. Okay. And for those that are listening that are in business, how would they be able to connect into their heart more? Because it might be a little bit foreign to them, you know, it's more of a spiritual journey. So what's your piece of advice where they would be able to connect more into their heart?
Yeah, I think that journey
Mm-hmm.
starts with self-awareness. It's a really great question, by the way, because, you know, spirituality really means spirit, like our connection to spirit and our own spirit, and of course, then our divine, whatever we choose to believe in. Um, but really, you know, it's like if we don't have a level of self-awareness and connection with other parts of self, how can we
Mm.
instantly go into the heart space? So I think, you know, the journey always begins with self-awareness, to be aware of our thoughts, our feelings, be aware of our triggers, be aware of our dreams and whatever else, you know, we're moving through. And layer by layer, as we start to go deeper, we start to really uncover, you know, what's actually in here, because so many of us are living from this space of having a closed heart because we've been hurt and it's just a foreign area and we don't want to go there, and of course we don't know how. But the journey is it is a journey. The longest journey
Yeah.
you'll ever take is from your head to your heart, right? So it doesn't happen overnight, but you know, it's a beautiful thing when you start with a level of self-awareness and just take
Mm.
time to get to know yourself. Because the more that you start shutting out the outside noise of comparison, opinions, society, programs, all the things that runs the show, if we're not taking responsibility, the more that we can shut that out, the more that you become aware of what is actually going on within you. And, you know, the journey to self is not really trying to figure out who we are. It's
Mm.
about remembering who we are, remembering who we are, our
Yeah, I love that.
dimensions of
So good.
self.
Thank you. What do you do every day to add more love, freedom, and choice into your life?
I choose to, I just get goosebumps. This is just so, these are
Yeah.
three of my top values actually. And as well as growth. Growth is another one. And I made a choice. I made a choice that I really wanted to be the embodiment of unconditional love, be the embodiment of freedom in all areas of my life. So, of course, always stepping into another level, but really, am I being free within myself? Am I always responding with love? Am I always choosing love in every instance, no matter what is coming at me in that moment? Am I still choosing to hold myself in love and other people with love? And then there's the freedom, you know, building a freedom in finances, in lifestyle, living a freedom lifestyle, being the embodiment of that. And it's not just lifestyle and finances, but it's freedom of expression, freedom to be who we really want to be and do what we want to do. And then choice, embodying choice is that it's okay to change your mind. What is a soul aligned choice? So, and to remember that every single choice in our day, our small choices, it creates our reality. And you know, to really remember that we're still choosing, even though we think we don't have a choice. So that's why I'm here, to embody choice, and the message is coming choice, that we do have a choice. Standing up from a chair is a choice. You chose, you know, it starts from a choice, then comes the action. And a lot of our choices are unconscious. So, you know, I'm basically in my own self, I'm constantly living from that space and checking in. Am I the absolute embodiment and the highest version when it comes to love, freedom, and choice? And those three key things keep guiding me every
Beautiful.
single day.
And just on that, like knowing your values is super important in knowing how to be able to make decisions to create the life that you want based off that. And I know that I've worked with a lot of people that a lot of them don't actually know what they are. They're quite unconscious in terms of that. So if you're listening, take action in finding what your values are in order to create the life that you want. What was I going to say? In terms of choice, like being consciously aware, knowing how to be, like when to choose as well. Like you said, majority of the time people don't really have the conscious awareness to know when they are actually choosing because it's an unconscious behavior.
Exactly. And, you know, it really is about tapping into where, at what place is this choice coming from? Is it coming from a soul aligned place? Or is it coming from a space of obligation and scarcity? So there is a huge difference because everything is still a choice.
All right. So what are you currently working on at the moment?
So many things. And there's this saying goes, work on one thing.
One of the many things.
One thing at a time, then next minute I'll do this. I am a Gemini too, so I'm like, Anyway, that has been another challenge in my entrepreneur journey. So a couple of the key things that I'm working on is, of course, really spreading my message and sharing my message on a larger scale. And how I do that is that actually I've just finished writing a book, so that's another way of me getting my message out there. So that's just I'm just proofreading it in the next week and then sending it to the editors and then publishing it. So that's a really exciting thing that has been happening in the background.
When can people
fantastic. Probably around end of September.
Oh.
So now that I've said it publicly, it's like chop Linda. Thank you for the accountability opportunity.
Awesome.
All right, end of September. Accountability is on. And then in terms of my own work, like I'm wanting to help more people to have more freedom in their life, to have more life. So there's a couple of different things I do, which I shared. So in the coaching space, I really coach people into embodiment of who they really are. And I have something called the expansion experience. And that's really the key thing that I do. So in that experience, in that program, it really is an experience. That's where I really step into, helping people into coming back to wholeness and embodiment of who they truly are. And doing that on a larger scale now. And the other thing that I do is, of course, assisting and helping people in terms of creating a freedom lifestyle like I have created and generating income online. So yeah, there's two, I don't really see separation between those anymore. I used to at one point in time, because everything that I do falls under love, freedom, and choice. So that really is my driving force. And then everything else is either a product or a service or a way that I'm helping
being
somebody.
able to deliver that. Yeah, beautiful. And how do people find out more about your program?
So I have on social media, it's actually full of it. I've just closed the door to the recent one, so I'm opening it in about a month. So this is, once I open the doors in a month, it'll be an ongoing experience that people can literally just join. So you can either go to my website, Linda Liv Doktar, that's actually lindadoktar.com. But I do most of my things, like the most recent updates will always be on my social media, on Facebook. I should be tagged in the video. And I have an email list as well that's through my website and Instagram. So yeah, I'm out there. So in whatever way, resonates with people to connect with me.
Just one last question. And I always ask this at the end of any interview. And if you were lying in bed and you were about to take your last breath, and you were surrounded by all your family, friends, and loved ones, what would be the one piece of wisdom you would share with them?
It would, goosebumps. It would be to stay true to your own soul. Like do the work to that place within yourself that that, hey, this is my soul. I'm just a vessel and this is my soul and I'm just living a human experience. And stay true to that. Because we get so distracted in this human experience. And we walk around disconnected and not knowing who we are because we don't remember. We're so operating from programming and conditioning and so forth. but to do the work, to let go of who you are not, to remember who you are.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. We're going to wrap it up now. Is there anything that you'd like to add in terms of, where people can find you? I'm going to put the links in the podcast preview. Anything else that you'd love to share, Linda, for all the listeners and the viewers?
Gosh, so much. I love talking, so this could be a dangerous question. I'm going to keep it really short and simple. Just find courage. Courage is the one thing that really we get to embody, because there will be fear, there will be uncomfortable things in life. Even when we are feeling soul aligned to walk in a certain direction, there will still be the feelings of uncomfortableness. And courage is something that we get to carry with us every moment of the day, because we're so used to holding ourselves small, not doing because fear is stopping us. So just keep walking. Just keep walking with courage, because fear will always be there. It's a dimension of self. It plays a part in our life. So courage, go and do it now. Whatever you've been procrastinating, you know exactly what I'm talking about, everyone listening. Go and do it now. Take the courage with you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Always remember, be bold, be brave, and have fun.